bring up the issues in which I am interested in. I think the status of the child in Western civilization changed dramatically in the 17th century. Began to change. That was the time when the child was seen as a part of life cycle as previously also, but seen as an apprentice adult. Not as an apprentice, not as a part of a naturally growing human being, but just a being deficient in full humanness, because full humanness was now identified with the adult male. Cecil Rhodes called the whole of Africa half savage, half child. Asiatics were considered, China and India with an ancient civilization were considered decrepit, old, decadent civilizations, needing the youthful vigor of Europe. Except for a small cross-section of the humanity, rest of the humanity were human beings in the making, proper human beings in the making. This is the contribution of the Enlightenment and the new social evolutionism which came with Darwin's theory. And Darwin is the person to whom Marx dedicated his main work, The Capital. And Marx also accepted the same social evolution. So we were all on the evolutionary ladder. And the child was the first victim of it, because child cannot protest. They couldn't, like the farmers, resist. Exactly as the Russian peasantry, the Chinese peasantry, and the Indian peasantry lies supine today, destroyed. Two of them are fully destroyed. One is gasping for breath in India. Similarly, the child was for the first time designed and brought up entirely as a proper, modern human being in the making. This involved different kinds of discipline. First is individualism. You have to live with yourself. That is why often these child welfare agencies do not like your child to, Westerners particularly, do not like your child to sleep with the parents. However small the child is, from the very beginning, the child must sleep in another room. And if the child cries, you are advised not to rush to. 1. 2. The child is taught from the age of 2 or so, 1.5 to 2, when he or she, child, begins to eat, learns to eat by itself, to use cutlery. So if you don't use cutlery, well, these are actual cases when you can show that these have been mentioned as proof that they're incompetent, deficient parents. The child doesn't eat cutlery. Indian childs are taught to eat with hand, not with cutlery. They're deficient, and many are deficient till they are adults. The child also was seen as unversed in anything except what is taught. There is no space for spontaneous growth, development, if not even generative grammar of the Chomskyan time, if you want to look at it that way. Child has a blank slate. Write on him what you want to write on it. Bertrand Russell, one of the great logical positivists of our time, believed in his theory fully. And his daughter writes in her autobiography that I wish my father has not listened so much to Watson and Skinner, but to Freud, because his son became schizophrenic with that kind of a highly logical, positivist educational system. And therefore, it is not at all surprising And along with that, I should also mention that childs were actually tortured systematically attain the adult idea of a growing child and a learning child. In Victorian England, amongst the gentry, it was common to send each other's children to work as servants in the other households. Because if he works in your own home, you will be lenient with him. But so if you work in your friend's place where he's treated like actually a servant and his child probably is with you, you will treat him like a servant. I can give you many examples. If you read the stories of the chimney boys of Victorian England, if you read the stories of how the child was treated in public schools, I mean, you will know what kind of product they produce. I mean, it was very educative for me to read the life history of Rudyard Kipling, who was sent after an idyllic childhood. His first language was Hindi, Rudyard Kipling. Sent to school in England, and then everybody, all the boys as well, who teased him because he looked partly brownish. He didn't look like a proper Englishman also. But in addition to that, he had a exposure to nature, woodlands and so on and so forth, which other children didn't have, and this was seen as a deviation from normality. And that horrifying experience, torture, hell, also living hell, that turned him into a proper imperialist. Because he never wanted to again to break away from the norm. Dissent became taboo for him in that. The only where he was showed dissent was in that autobiographical novel, Kim, where the hero and the hero's friend, the Lama, are just a total negation of what he himself was. And that he wrote after he has left India, settled in America, and his child died in the cause of the empire in the First World War I, and he has learned the hard way that there can be alternatives. So his unconscious spoke better than his conscious, and that's the product of him. Incidentally, that also was a provocation for Tagore to write Gora, which is probably the most, I would say, most topical, novel encapsulating the post-colonial and post-colonial India, encapsulated right in that one character, because he was both. He started as something very close to what we see nowadays, and his negation comes from within him, and it defines. Anyway, I don't want to go beyond that. So what I am trying to convey is that this problem is basically a civilizational problem. There is no easy solution to it. Because the whole thing is geared to an idea of people growing up towards adulthood. Entire people. I think Illich somewhere said that it took 2 billion people 2 decades to learn that they were underdeveloped. They never thought that. That also had to be learned. A child in the modern civilization, which is totally modern Enlightenment Europe and is dictator, is basically exactly the same situation. He's taught that he's non-adult. He's taught that spontaneity doesn't work. He's taught that he must not host the others the way he has been, the capacity to do. Each of these qualities are taught. I don't want to make a long story out of it, but and I hope I am not too abstruse in what I have said.